Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Zineb, and I work for the Norwegian Refugee Council. I lead on our work around how to responsibly use AI in humanitarian action. And although there's AI on my title, I don't want to talk so much about AI today. I find it very difficult to stand on stage at a conference about peace and promote a technology that, to the best of my knowledge, there's little to no evidence that it supports peace, but we know very well that it's a very good, effective tool at doing war at the moment. So yeah, when I talk about CLEAR, which is an initiative led by NRC, but hopefully involving more and more actors, but it's really building on years of learning from this community on how can we bring insights to the variety of decision makers. Has been talking about who are the decision makers we're talking about, and that's really beyond the donors or the people at headquarters or the UN agencies, but really down to the field level. So the first responders that are most of the time the communities themselves. And I really loved what John shared with us earlier. Yeah, so from 90 platforms to 1 decisions, and 90 is not a random number. We've done a study last year where we tried to map platforms that are working around in the space around early warning and early action, and we found that there's approximately 96 platforms doing different parts of the job, filling different gaps, but really rarely talking to each other. So as a think of first responders or a humanitarian aid worker at the field level already struggling with connectivity, trying to collate information about what happened, and really having to open approximately 90 tabs. So yeah, how do I do this? Great, yeah. Just for those who don't know, the Norwegian Refugee Council is an international organization working to protect people forced to flee, mainly forced to flee conflicts in around 40 countries. We do humanitarian assistance that range from protection from violence to shelter, education, and the like. So this figure was mentioned earlier today, 75%, as like there is a gap of 35%, but actually see that this is pretty good figure in terms of availability of data. There's 75% of humanitarian data is available and is on HDX or some other open data platform, but we found that really very little of it reaches actually response planning or supports response. Why CLEAR matters today and why now is some of the reasons why we started working on this is around the fact that, yeah, funding cuts has been mentioned a lot, but we really think that there is a push to do more with less and push to like look for silver bullets such as AI. But really it's CLEAR is looking at how we can do more with less together. And I know, those who know me, I sound like a broken record. I talk about this all the time. Collaboration, working together, building systems that talk to each other, building in a way that is open. We also think that the crises we see today are more and more compounded and more complex, so they require more and more evidence-driven decision-making. And that the technology is there, is great, and it can help move things faster. I'm going to skip this slide because you mentioned it already. So when crisis hits, we all struggle to find out where the people are, where they're moving, what do they need, how can we reach them best. We all know that. But when the data isn't there or it's not in a format that can be used, humanitarian actors, and this they've told us this, it's not, we've heard it many times over the years, that yeah, in the end, we just do what we know what to do. Like we do what we know best, we just go there and act on gut feeling, which is great. We don't want to cut down that like humanitarian instinct. We want to keep that there, but we want to empower it with data so that the decisions that are made are something that a humanitarian worker can stand by. And we really think, we make the assumption that the sector has all the pieces, they're there. They're in different formats, but they are sadly super fragmented. And the scale of fragmentation is, as I said, 90 plus platforms. So what CLEAR is trying to do I'm going to skip this because I don't have so much time, is not just to build a pipeline, but to really build a continuous loop going from the signals and events, alerts, and response to, again, that response feeding back into the next signals or the next learning. So that's where the L in clear is about learning. So we're building, there's AI there, sorry, but we're building an engine that I will maybe touch on better here, which is an analytical layer that's not just AI. It's some models that, some of them are AI models, some are more just good old mathematics, but that sit in different organizations owned by different actors, but they're often not really making it to the decision making on the ground. So all this great science that all of you are doing is really reaching that last mile. So what we're building is how can we use technology that exists today, that we can build. Now we have funding to do it, to build that layer that will bring these models to life and will actually deliver insights to the people who need it most, and the most timely way and the most granular way possible. So I'm just looking at the time. It's going really fast, so I'm going to... So I'm not going to go into the details, but I just want to mention that the first thing we thought we need to build is an API. We need to make the data available first, and make the structure of the data open, so that others can start building with us. So I invite you to look at the website later, but I'm just going to skip through. And then we're building these 4 kind of user interfaces. One for warning, that also takes the learning from inform warning. I've seen also the presentation about the disaster risk data hub, which is really great. I think we're going to use your data. And then like an operations console, that's where there is maybe some Gen AI or NLP that helps really focusing on retrieval and helps, with decision making, basically. And then our flagship product for, or the way how we deliver emergency response, where possible, it's through cache. And we are doing that in more and more digital ways where it's possible. So we want to use this system to enable quick cache delivery to people. So yeah, I'm just going to skip through this. So there's just a few screens I want to show. So we have an MVP already live. It's working in Sudan, where we're taking this variety of signals coming from different sources and sending alerts when alerts passes a certain threshold. Then our field teams on the ground get the information really synthesized with when something is generated by some black box that's already mentioned there, and when we have a source, we have also like reliability and scoring for the confidence for the different pieces of information we're showing. I'm just going to go quickly through this. So just some screens. Again, feel free to reach out to me. I can show you the platform during the break. One more, because everybody loves a chatbot, we added a chatbot. It's not necessary. And then I just want to say that in the end, what's really important, I don't want to talk about what we are building, but how we are building it and the importance of open source in this space. If we want to be independent and want to be true to our humanitarian principle of independence, we have to become independent from big tech giants and build technology that can be inclusive. If we talk about localization, how can a local actor have access to tools that might be actually blocked in the local context they are living in? So we really have to take this. We're taking this as a principle in how we build Clear. We build it in the open. It's open source from day one. It's on GitHub. You can go on our GitHub and have a look. And that QR thing is to join our newsletter mailing list. So yeah, thank you.